But the question is not just about changing regime. The question is how to de-imperialize Russia. Because for centuries, from Peter the Great, then Soviet Union, and now totalitarian Russian Federation, we faced a lot of genocide like last century. And now, so this is why the West should finally design, develop, and be ready to different scenarios which might happen in Russian Federation, like it happened with the Soviet Union in 1991 when it was disintegrated.
President Zelensky hailed it as a historic day, adding the people of Kherson were waiting. They never gave up on Ukraine. Our people are Kherson. Now let's get some reaction to that military success with Hanna Hopko, an ex-MP and the former head of the Committee on Foreign Affairs in Ukraine's parliament. She's also been a powerful voice for Ukrainian resistance since Russia invaded in February this year. Hanna Hopko, welcome back to the programme. Lovely to have you on again.
Thank you for having me.
It's a great pleasure. Look, you saw videos of celebrations from Kherson yesterday. What was your reaction to those scenes?
I was almost crying because I remember when we demanded more weapons to Ukraine traveling to different capitals, I always was thinking about people who are under Russian occupation. Every hour being like rape Ukrainian teachers because of their Ukrainian identity. Kids. So this is why it was happiness with also sadness, because, you know, the price we paid, and many friends of mine, they are there. So, and they told me stories about Ukrainians who sacrificed their lives this moment to see how it happened. And of course, it's historic moment, but a really historic moment will be when Ukrainian flag will be in Sevastopol. And with successful counter-offensive operation, we have to continue and actually to liberate all Ukrainian territories, and every inch of Ukraine should be free from Russian occupiers. Because by liberating Kherson, we keep in mind also Ukrainian Donbas territories, Crimea, when every hour people facing war crimes, crimes against humanity, and our struggle, our fight is continuing. We are very thankful for Ukrainian armed forces, but we need more weapons to protect our critical infrastructure, because it will not stop Russia, even if we see some tendencies inside Russian society, Russian military, but still, we have to keep fighting.
How important a victory is it strategically and militarily speaking for both Russia and Ukraine? Because, I mean, the interpretation seems to be that it's a signal that Russia can't hope to control the southern coastline or seize Odessa and cities like that, that they are forced back and will stay back. Is that also how you see it?
Yeah, of course. You see this like videos when Ukrainians were like saying, VSU, it means like Ukrainian armed forces. So we waited for you for more than 8 months. So this is why it's really important to keep this momentum and continue returning control or retaking control over Ukrainian land. And you've seen that Russian troops laid explosives at the Kakhovka hydroelectric power plant dam in order to get the opportunity to blow it up and slow down Ukraine's counter-offensive in Kherson region, so by unleashing its waters. So I think it's really important that the West is pursuing a victory strategy faster, because with more weapons, we could liberate our territories, and also Crimea is an achievable goal for next year, the beginning of the year. And winter is not a problem for our armed forces to continue a fight. So the only issue is to protect civilian critical infrastructure, because Iran, by supplying kamikaze drones to Russia, so with the aim to destroy our critical infrastructure. And you know that 40% of Ukrainian energy facilities are damaged or destroyed, and we need to go through winter. That spring of hope will bring a real victory for Ukraine, for democracy, and we will defeat authoritarian regimes. And this would be a powerful signal to Iran, to China, North Korea, Belarus, and to all this club of authoritarian regimes, which are now working together to help Russia in all directions, from drone supply, ballistic missiles, and even manpower.
Yeah. How's the winter going to be for Ukraine and its people? Because we've heard so much about infrastructure being targeted by Russian forces. You mentioned yourself power stations being taken on offline. Winter, of course, can be bitter. How's it going to be?
So winter is already. I'm in Kiev, and honestly, when now I cannot connect through Zoom because there is no electricity. We have this like switch off regularly 3 times a day. But can you imagine like when elderly people they cannot use elevators because they might stuck, and also in hospitals with surgeries. So this is why the faster we receive generators and more support and more anti-air defense system. And also Russian military must leave the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, and Ukrainian authorities have to regain full control of it, because it's not just about Russian nuclear strategy of weaponizing and making nuclear terror. But I would like to see how Russian nuclear industry will be under sanctions to prevent a precedent for other nuclear terrorists. And I'm very thankful for UK, because you are out of all Western community the most brave, because you impose sanctions to Russian military and also sanctions against Russian Orthodox leader or so-called Orthodox Church, Kirill, FSB agent Gundayev. So actually, the more sanctions on industries, sanctions on personalities we see from the West, the faster we will see different, different events against collective Putin to change regime. But the question is not just about changing regime. The question is how to de-imperialize Russia. Because for centuries, from Peter the Great, then Soviet Union, and now totalitarian Russian Federation, we faced a lot of genocide like last century. And now, so this is why the West should finally design, develop, and be ready to different scenarios which might happen in Russian Federation, like it happened with the Soviet Union in 1991 when it was disintegrated.
Understood. Look, thank you very much indeed, Hanna Hopko. Great to speak to you, and I hope you'll come back on and speak to us again. Thanks very much indeed for being with us.